The thing is if I want to draw a shape, if I want to like if I want to animate this shape, right? I know that this is the legs, right? But I can, because I understand anatomy, I can make these legs do whatever I want them to do, right? I can do that, and I can animate that, right? And people, but the thing is I'm super experienced that I can make something. I can then go in here and throw in a rib cage, a pelvis, right? And say, okay, the pelvis and the rib cage are going against each other, right? What's the bone's gonna do? The foot, right? The other bone, right? Then I can come in here like and figure out the knee position, right? And then the other knee position, right? And the foot position of that, right? Then you'll go in here, and this is where the navel is, the stomach, the obliques, right? The chest, right? The shoulders, the bicep, right? So I can come in here and make it a realistic figure, right? Now everybody's online talking about this simple up angle, right? If you understand the skull and the way the skull works, it's really not going to be a problem, right? Right. So I'm not going to allow any trend to dictate my posts, right? So I can have something like that, and anatomy, that anatomy is the key, but I don't have to draw like that, right? I can start putting like cartoon shapes, right? Because I've done a lot of anatomy study, I can go in here and say that that's like drapery, right? And that's like big boots, right? So I can go in and put shapes of boots already on there, right? To push the anatomy, right? I can change the angle here and say that that's all hanging off the chest, right? And then we've got a loose shirt, right? But I know, because I know anatomy, right? Let's give him a sword, right? Because I know anatomy, I can go and do those things. See, this line isn't just the line here. This is the line of the shoulder turning and going to the cuff of the forearm, where other things will go, right? Then I can give him a beard, right? Coming up the front there, like that, right? So I don't even have to do that. I can make it a completely abstract, like with a little kind of knobbly knee here, right? Completely abstract, like let's give him a bit of a belly, right? Right. Not completely abstract, but it seems like there's anatomy in there, but it's really kind of vague cartoon. Let's give him big forearms. This vague kind of cartoon, right? Let's give him some kind of tights. I don't know. Make him like one of the Lost Boys from Hook, right? Right, there we go. Right, let's give him some boots. Right, so when I talk about anatomy, I say that it is a must to learn, because I can create any shape I want. I can create a shape like this, right? Create a shape like this, right? And then on that shape, I can look, right? I can find anatomy in there, right? I can find anatomy in that shape, right? I can find anatomy in the shape, right? Like that. So, and even from that, I can then go on to this kind of thing, and I don't have to be so specific, right? Although specific is going to help you be able to do what I'm doing right now, right? I can use the whole block thing, right? Which is kind of like what some people like to rely on, right? And put some, probably going to be more like that, right? And I can just go in here and keep using that anatomy to help me, right? That's where the thoracolumbar fascia is. That's where musculature, trapezius, will help me, right? Let's get that angle perspective going there like that, right? So a little bit of perspective comes into play to help me make this work even better, right? So this, what you're seeing me doing right here, is an extremely useful. See, now I'm going to kind of show you something else, right? Just like I did with the dog, right? I will then use that anatomy thing to then play with kind of cubist principles that are gonna really kind of give me nice, streamlined kind of shapes, right? Gonna really kind of give me strong poses. Right, see here, I'm in a bit of a thing, so I want to kind of say his foot should be here, right? But then his calf muscle will be here. But then that doesn't really help that, so I want to put his foot here, right? And I'm going to cheat it, right? I'm going to cheat it. Not necessarily cheating it. This is where line drawing exposes things that a painter would use to make it work, right? So with light and shade. So you got to get comfortable with things looking odd as well, right? As you're working in line. Right? So anatomy is the key to strong drawing, no matter whatever kind of drawing you're doing.